Hey everyone, Greg Dallaire with Dallaire Realty. I'm super excited. We got a special guest, Drew Basten from Basten Home Inspections. And today we're going to talk about how to choose the right home inspector. It's one of the biggest purchases of your life, purchasing a home, and getting a home inspection is super important. But making sure you choose the right home inspector, I don't think a lot of people talk about. And I'd love to get your thoughts on, how easy it is to become a home inspector and kind of like, why you really want to do some due diligence and do some research and not just say, hey, you should go with this home inspector. So what are your thoughts on that, Drew?
Yes, I guess it's like you said, it's one of the biggest purchases most people have ever made. So we want to make sure an experienced person is coming in there to guide them and give them some intel on what they're purchasing. Kind of like when you're buying a car, you want a mechanic to look at, get under the hood and just really know what you're getting. So a couple things I would recommend is talking to family members and seeing who they've used in the past, and talking to your realtor, see who they would recommend. And then from there, one big question, once they give you a name or a couple of inspectors' names, is why they would use that person. And one of the biggest reasons would be just trust. They trust that person's going to guide you through making that big purchase.
Yeah, I think the buyer should definitely take some due diligence, even when getting those referrals from realtors, family and friends. Do some research. I mean, it's with the internet and technology, it's not hard to see how reputable a company really is. I'm curious, how hard is it to become a home inspector?
Yeah, so becoming a home inspector, we have to take a test, and you pass a test, and that you can become a home inspector. Now, that doesn't mean that's the home inspector you should use. I think what you really want to be picking is someone who's licensed. Number one, you got to be licensed, and then an inspector that would have insurance, and then on top of that, a person that can explain to you a house and what are the big issues with the house and what are the small maintenance issues. Someone who can walk you through a house and describe.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best things you guys do is your communication is very layman's terms. I'm a computer guy, technology guy. I'm not the guy who's going to fix your house. But the nice thing is, if you look at your company specifically, you guys have over 30 years of experience. And prior to that, you were in the basement foundation business. So you have additional experience. And if I was looking for an inspector, I'd want somebody who's been in a lot of houses. How many homes have you and Andy inspected roughly in the last 30 years? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so we've done over 25,000 home inspections in the greater Green Bay area. So, I mean, that's experience. And that's another big thing you would want in a home inspector is someone who's been there, done that, and seen it all. And that's where we've been. Okay. I guess a couple other things on background on Basten Home Inspection would be my grandfather. Andy is my father. He's my partner in this business. My grandfather, he repaired basements. That's how we got into this, which foundations, basement structure, that's pretty much the main focus of where big defects come into play. So that's where it's good to have a trusted foundation expert. Beyond that, we own a lot of rental property around town. So we are in this every day. We know what things break down, how to fix roof leaks and those sort of items. So it's nice to be able to speak to what things cost to our buyers and educate them on what a big issue is or what a smaller maintenance issue is.
I think that's the bigger thing is that you guys actually practice what you preach. And that's kind of what drew me to Basten Home Inspections is not only do you have 25,000 homes of experience, but you actually, like you said, you're investing in properties, you're fixing properties, you have rentals. So you're constantly having to maintain them and make sure that they're operating at high efficiency. So when you're choosing a home inspector in Green Bay, make sure you have extra due diligence, do your research. We're not saying you have to go with Basten Home Inspection, but we want to give you options to uncover that. Maybe you're getting somebody who's been in, 30 to 50 homes. You got to pass a state test and the barrier of entry. I'm always looking for somebody, even the previous inspectors we've used had general contracting experience. I think that's super important in the process to have that building knowledge. So just highly recommend if you're looking to get a home inspection in the Green Bay or surrounding areas, do your due diligence. And Drew, I really appreciate you taking some time and kind of opening up the hood to like the industry a little bit and giving prospective buyers or homeowners an opportunity to know what they really need to look for when trying to find the right home inspector in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
No problem, Greg. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.